My birth parents didn't find me until 5 years after I crossed into this world. At the time, I was eating at a roadside stall. My foster dad stood there frowning, while my birth parents broke down crying the moment they saw my face. I looked 80% like him. Behind them was Gu Changming, the guy who'd stolen my identity as the family's heir. He was watching me with this smug, provocative look. My parents grabbed my hands and said, "Son, my baby, you've suffered so much all these years. Come home with Mom." I stood up and waved off the crowd behind me, telling them to hang back. What they didn't know was that every single person at that food stall was one of my bodyguards. On the way back, Gu Changming kept his eyes on me the entire time, full of suspicion and hostility. He stayed as far from me as possible, like I had something contagious. I didn't bother with Gu Changming. I just kept my eyes on Gu Fu and Gu Mu. 5 years ago, the moment I crossed over, I already knew I was the real heir. I'd even arranged for my foster parents to find out their son wasn't theirs, and yet it still took them 5 years to come find me. What they didn't know was I'd already built a life here, started a company, built a crew, and was doing just fine. The second we got home, Gu Fu fixed me with his cold, calculating stare and said, "The Gu family has rules. Starting today, you're staying in the servants' quarters to learn some humility. Mr. Gu, if you don't want me here, I can leave." Right, so when I first crossed over, the system handed me a mission. The goal? Make the Gu family regret. Once they do, I take everything I've built in this world and cross back home. By now, I was already sitting on billions in assets. I had zero reason to put up with the Gu family's attitude. Gu Fu's face dropped immediately, and Gu Changming stepped right up and started making a scene. "How could you talk like that? Dad is doing this for your own good. Who do you think you are? What gives you the right to come at me like that?" I stared at Gu Changming, cold as ice, and asked him that. Clearly hit a nerve. He burst into tears on the spot, couldn't hold it back. Foster dad and foster mom rushed over to comfort him, completely ignoring me standing right in front of them. I just shook my head. This whole family had a screw loose. They knew I was the real son, and yet they were bending over backwards for the kid of some nanny who stole their baby. Made absolutely no sense. I had no interest watching their little loving family act. I turned and headed upstairs. "This room's nice. I'm staying here." When she saw me about to move right into Gu Changming's room, Gu Mu lost it. "No, you don't. That's Changming's room. Gu Beichen, wait, what do you think you're doing? Have you got no manners?" He glared at me with pure fury in his eyes. Meanwhile, Gu Changming put on his crying act. "Bro, I know I stole your life. Take the room. It's yours." As he said it, he turned to look at foster dad and mom, the picture of wounded innocence. That little performance made them feel even more sorry for him. They kept consoling him nonstop. I wasn't about to stand there and watch them put on their little show. I walked in and closed the door behind me. I threw all of Gu Changming's stuff out. Just as Gu Mu hit peak meltdown, I slammed the door shut, hard. I could hear Gu Mu screaming on the other side. I put my earphones in and called my secretary. "Boss, Gu family's company is bleeding out. Following your plan, you really going through with taking them down?" Honestly, when I first came back, I half wanted to see what this family was really like, but the Gu family made it pretty clear they didn't want me here. "Start moving on the Gu family now." My secretary got right to work. I hung up, because someone was pounding on my door, hard. I knew Gu Fu and Gu Mu had finally run out of patience with me. The second I stood up, the door got kicked wide open. Gu Fu stormed into the room. He looked at me with ice in his eyes and snapped, "Gu Beichen, you've crossed a line! This is Changming's room!" Didn't he just say I could have it? I looked past Gu Fu at Gu Changming, standing there playing the victim. But behind those teary eyes, I could see pure hatred. And still, he kept up the act, crying out, "No, it's fine. I gave it to my brother. I'll go sleep in the servants' quarters." The second those words landed, foster dad snapped and charged at me. Gu Mu was sobbing on the side. She looked at me with nothing but coldness. Foster dad got right in my face and swung hard, but I caught his hand. He froze the second he felt the resistance. "I'm your father, I'm telling you, let go!" he shouted in my face. I was done entertaining him. I shoved him off hard, then looked at him and said, "Seems like I'm not welcome here." "You've gone too far." Gu Mu was just as furious. "Beichen, how could you? Changming is our son too. You two are brothers, you should be pulling together, not this." She said it while gazing at Gu Changming like he was everything. On top of that, Changming has been running this entire company for years. "Beichen, even now that you're back, there's no way we're handing the family assets over to you. That all belongs to Changming." I nodded slowly, taking it all in. I'd already seen this coming. Years ago, even after Gu Fu found out Gu Changming wasn't his son, he still spoiled the guy rotten. He'd handed most of the company's operations over to Gu Changming over the years. The love they had for him ran deep. They'd practically adopted him as their own blood. What I couldn't figure out, though, was, if that was the case, why'd they bother bringing me back? "Since you don't want me here, I'll leave." Honestly, I never planned on coming to the Gu house. I only showed up because they asked. Since the Gu family clearly didn't want me around, I was ready to walk. But just as I was about to leave, Gu Fu grabbed my arm. "Beichen, you can't go." There was a flash of panic in his eyes. What's that supposed to mean? I looked at him straight. I knew something was off. "Beichen, we worked so hard to find you. How can you just leave?" Gu Mu jumped in, anxious. "We're not trying to chase you out. It's just that this is Changming's space. You can't just move into his room. We genuinely don't have a spare room right now. Just stay in the servants' quarters for one night. We'll sort something out tomorrow." They were both talking fast, gripping my hands tight. Beishin, Mom worked so hard to find you. Please don't leave. The way Gufu and Gumu were acting, I could tell there was something they weren't telling me. In the end, I stayed. But I wasn't sleeping in the servants' quarters. They had no choice but to clear out Gu Changming's music room and put me in there. I looked around the room and laughed to myself. The guy had a whole music room this size, and they still wanted to stick me in the servants' quarters. It was pretty clear I didn't come close to Gu Changming in their eyes. I called my assistant and had him dig into whatever was going on with the Gu family. Gufu and Gumu had known I existed for years, but never came for me. Now they suddenly show up? There had to be an agenda. The second I hung up, Gumu walked into my room. Beichin, you just got back. We're worried about your health after living rough out there. We want you to get a full checkup. I frowned. No thanks, I'm fine. By then I was already picking up on something being off. First they rushed to bring me home, now they're pushing a checkup? Something wasn't right. I said no, but they pushed hard. Beichin, it's just a checkup. It'll put our minds at ease. Gumu looked tense. I looked back at her, my eyes going cold. And if I say no? She frowned, saw I wasn't budging, and walked out. Gufu showed up shortly after. The driver's downstairs, go with them to the hospital, get checked, then come back. No room for argument in his tone. No, not interested. At first, I might have let it slide, but the way they were pushing me made it obvious something was going on. My resistance made Gufu furious. I'm your father! I'm telling you to get checked for your own good! Sorry, Mr. Gu, I'm not ready to call you that yet. That set him off. You've been out there for years. Who knows what you might have picked up? He reached out to drag me along without another word. I pulled free. Whose fault is it that I was out there in the first place? That stopped him cold. He looked shaken. Gu Beichin, we want you to go to the hospital because we care about your health. We're your mom and dad. You think we'd hurt you? Gumu looked at me, desperate. Honestly, I'm not so sure. Besides, your son is Gu Changming, not me. The moment I said that, Gufu's whole demeanor shifted. He stared me down. I'm ordering you to go. If you refuse, I'll have you dragged there. The second he said it, a team of bodyguards stepped up behind him. The sight of them made my face go even colder. I knew something was seriously wrong here. I had no choice, and I got in the car. At the hospital, under the family's watch, I gave blood, ran tests, the whole workup. Gufu and Gumu showed zero interest in how I was doing. The moment my tests were done, they disappeared straight into the doctor's office. My phone rang. It was my secretary. Boss, got it. Gu Changming is sick, needs a kidney transplant. They already pulled your blood sample a while back and ran it against Changming's. This visit is just to confirm the match. Get someone to come pull me out of this hospital. The Gu family act is officially over. Now it's my turn. On it, boss.